This is from the Darlie Routier is Innocent page, or the Darlie Routier is Innocent page on Facebook. This is George Barwood. Oh, he's a lovely guy. This is one of the big-time Darlie supporters. Been around for a long time. It was Darren that murdered those boys, not Darlie, not an unknown intruder. This is all they got now is to blame it on Darren. This guy's an avid Jodi Arias supporter, and said that Jodi Arias, even though she stabbed Travis 20-some times, shot him in the head, and slit his throat wide open, she did that in self-defense. George Barwood also was telling people that I was arrested by the FBI and they've taken all my flash drives and that I was involved with military intelligence and all that stuff. Blah, blah, blah. So what Barwood did back in the day is he kept on challenging Vinnie Politan to have him on the show, and then he'd show him. Yeah, he kept on challenging, and Vinny's very free with the public. I've spoken to him, and a friend of mine, Marissa, or Molly Golightly on YouTube as she was, is personal friends with him. So we convinced him to have him on. Well, Marissa did. But we pushed it to have him on. And this is how a Darlie supporter looked.
Social media people get kind of excited about this stuff and really let their opinions known. So we found a Facebook page, Jodi Arias is innocent, and we said, okay, well, someone thinks she's innocent. We got to talk to this guy. So let's bring him in. His name is George Barwood. He's joining us all the way from the UK. George, nice to see you. And let me just say from the outset that I don't agree with your assessment of Jodi Arias, but I will be civilized here, and we'll have a nice, vigorous talk. Vigorous talk about the facts of this case. But let me start here. Why'd you start the Facebook page, Jodi Arias is innocent?
Well, that's not my page, but I made a page, why Jodi is innocent. A Facebook page. It's to allow anyone with a smartphone to read about the key physical evidence in Jodi's case, which proves that her story is true.
Okay. Well, let me say this first. With your accent, for in this country you have an accent. You sound so credible. So let's start here. Tell me one reason why you believe Jodi Arias is innocent.
Well, the prosecution kept changing its theory. It's a sign they don't have good case, isn't it? I mean, the medical examiner, he's claiming a typo in the autopsy report. Yeah, that's not credible. Have a look at that. There's lots of things in the autopsy report. There wasn't any damage to the brain. So there's another explanation for that.
Okay, let me jump in, though. You say that the prosecution has changed their stories. Jodi Arias changed her story. Why did she change her story 3 times?
Jodi's, got off to a very bad start, didn't she? She lied and lied. She didn't want to admit to what had happened. She was afraid,
Afraid
she was
of
afraid,
what?
Frightened. She was afraid she'd committed murder. I think she didn't know what happened, did she? But yeah, I mean, let's consider it on the physical evidence. That's all fluffy stuff, isn't it? You can't prove anything from that. John Martinez, he had a theory, didn't he? But it was a different theory. Originally, they said the gunshot was first. Yeah.
All right, George, we're hitting a commercial right here. We're hitting a commercial. I want you to stay where you are. I'm going to bring in some friends of mine who want to speak with you as well. Some folks who covered the trial. All right, he thinks she's innocent. What do you think?
It does. It makes my brain scramble.
All right, Jodi Arias facing the death penalty September 8th, but there are still people supporting her, including George Barwood. We couldn't find someone, apparently, in this country. We had to go to the UK. George joins us here along with our dream team. Lonnie Combs joining us, Judge Hatchett, and Ebony Williams. Great to have you all with us, ladies. And George, you strike me as a very normal, reasonable guy. You married? You got kids? Just give me a thumbnail sketch of who you are.
Yeah, well, I'm a pretty bright guy. I went to Cambridge University in the UK. I got a scholarship. Scholarship to do physics and maths. I'm a physician,
Okay.
A physics person, a mathematician, a scientist.
Someone tweeted us and they wanted to know if George had a crush on Jodi Arias.
I support a lot of different people, you know, Vinny. I support, and more than half of them are men.
Okay, there you go. That straightens it up. All right, so you told us, give me another reason why you believe Jodi Arias is innocent.
Well, the motive's not credible. I mean, Jodi was on a trip to see a new boyfriend. Why would she be jealous of Travis? I mean, crimes of passion are not premeditated by a week, are they? You know, this is all wrong. This doesn't make sense.
Ladies, anyone want to jump in on this one?
He's clearly not a woman, Vinny, because he certainly doesn't understand how methodical some of us can be. A week is absolutely not unreasonable if you really want to get that element of surprise going. So, sorry, George, can't agree with
And
you
George, you didn't address the fact that she was jilted. I mean, he was on his way on a trip out of the country with another woman. Let's remember that. And he changed the ticket from Jodi to the new woman.
Yeah.
I mean, she was upset.
Jodi was going to see her new boyfriend.
That was a fake. That boyfriend had nothing to do.
The boyfriend was an alibi, right, Lonnie? Wasn't the boyfriend an alibi?
Yeah. That was a cover. That was a setup. But
Absolutely.
George, let me ask you, just to get it straight. So, do you buy Jodi Arias' story that she went into a fog the moment that she actually started stabbing and shooting Travis, and that she didn't come out of it
that's
until
a medically
later?
proven fact. If the stress levels rise beyond a certain amount, you can't remember anything. That's a medically
And then
proven
why would she never call the police at any time after that?
She was terrified.
If she realized that what she had done, and she was totally innocent, and it was in self-defense. And I'm assuming you're buying her self-defense that Travis.
Yeah, she was putting it off. She didn't know what to do, did she? She just put it off and put it off, and then you know, would you hand yourself in? Another thing, you know, they say Jodi lied about returning this gas can to Walmart. I mean, what's that got to do with anything? I found out Amanda Webb didn't work at the physical store Jodi shopped at. You know, that's nonsense.
The significance of the lying about the gas can is that she lied in front of the jury because she was explaining
But she
her
didn't
prior.
lie.
She was
She didn't lie. That testimony was not.
You know what you should do? You should send an email over to Kirk Nermy then, because
Well, they know that'll come out. You know, that'll come out in the appeals. Jodi's going to appeal. Jodi's going to appeal.
Yeah, everybody appeals in this country. All right, how much time do we have? How much? How much? We got to wrap. Okay, George, it's great meeting you, and I'd like to speak with you in the future as we get closer to the new trial.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're very
How
welcome.
does your family feel about this?
Yeah, well,
He never addressed that part
he
of
went
it.
to Cambridge.
Yeah.
He's got credibility to a certain extent.
He never addressed whether he had a crush, though.
He did
Or
not.
what?
Look, I've had two successes this year. I got David Camm's trial. I followed that absolutely. I represented him. He was exonerated on his third trial.
Okay.
I followed
Thank
Deborah
you.
Milk very closely. She's out of.
We're out of time, George. Thanks so much. Coming up, we're going to talk about that little boy who was mauled.
Isn't that funny? He said he represented David Camm. But this is some of Darlie's supporters that are still out there today getting owned. That's a Dollar supporter right there. Keep them coming.